Most people talk about risking 0.5% or 1% per trade, but you better know about exposure.
Welcome back to the CTI YouTube channel. Today I get to meet Viet, who has recently passed the CTI evaluation. So Viet, introduce yourself to everybody.
I come from Vietnam and have been a professional trader for almost 1 year, working with quite a lot of profit and very glad to have an opportunity, and especially when I finally passed City Trader challenge, because I treat the challenge, the evaluation with City Trader very seriously, because very uniqueness that it provides. So I don't have to rush in my trade to meet the target within certain day. I have the whole 1 year. So kind of huge opportunity to take it slowly, like a real professional fund manager do, and scaling up to 2 million. That's a very
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal right there. So obviously you've done the evaluation, you've passed it now, and in fact, how do you feel about the CTI evaluation compared to other prop firms? How has this one helped you?
yes. So I study fundamental trading from some hedge fund manager. So to apply that, either I have to use my own money, or CP Trader offers the evaluation within up to 1 year. So I can really apply the strategy with CP Trader. The time factor is the most important thing. Even though the drawdown is very little, just 5%, but I can trade a small lot and take it slowly, like the strategies that I've been told to trade.
Yeah, that's important. And it's the fact that CTI we give you 12 months with the classic funding model that obviously helps you and many traders because it's very difficult when you have less time. Every strategy is different. Some strategies they do okay within, a very short period of time, like 30 days or 45 days. But some other strategies they require more time. So obviously you've had success with CTI because you've had more time to execute your strategy, and that's what you need. So, um, in terms of your trading style, what kind of trading style do you follow? Is it swing trading? Is it day trading?
Yeah, I begin with Z account City Trader, and being a swing trader. And the difficulty for me is market acting very weird recently. Over the past 1 year, they've been constantly risk on, risk off, risk on, risk off. So my strategy is to analyze the economic of the currency, and I expect when I take a position, it's gonna keep in one direction within 3 to 4 weeks. However, that was not what happened. So I modified a bit. I combine that bias by analyzing fundamental, having a bias on a currency, but I enter the trade like a day trader. I start with the Asian session, and if price move in my direction, calculate very carefully my exposure and the risk that I allow into that trade. And if it move into my direction, if the gap between where price is at and my stop loss is wide enough, I will be able to scale in and then move the stop loss closer, but still have a big enough distance between current price and stop loss in order for price to fluctuate and not take me out the trade.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's go into your trading history because it's quite interesting. You went for the 17.5K valuation, so now you're gonna receive a $70,000 funded account. What's interesting is you started in December, around Christmas time of 2021, and it took you quite a while, but it's I always think that it's much better to ensure that you are executing your strategy, even if it takes you the entire 12 months. Now, any other funded program out there with other prop firms, you wouldn't have been able to pass because you needed these 8 months to pass. And what I can see from your trading history is that you have very good risk management. You do very well with protecting the drawdown, and so I can see here very small wins and losses. Then you had some moderate wins and losses, and then at the end you had very big wins on the Kiwi yen. So, and you obviously it was you were buying the Kiwi yen, so this must have been a risk on situation as a Kiwi yen was going up. um, this was at the beginning of June, so that was a very nice day trade. So well done on that one. And if we go down to your statistics, I can see here that you have a high profit factor. So when you have a winning trade, it's a big one, right? You have a 3.94 profit factor. This is very good because with the 3.94 profit factor, as well as a 1.4% relative drawdown, this demonstrates that you're very good with protecting the capital. You're also very good with maximizing your winners. And so this is what you need. This is the secret to trading is small losses, big wins. That's it. So if you can repeat this process and remain disciplined, I think you can do very well. Um, your win rate is 42%. This is average. This is pretty average. So um, maybe there might be ways to improve your strategy, perhaps. Maybe there are ways to increase the win rate somehow. So, they might be advisable to keep a trading journal to see how you can improve, but also continue back testing. So you did something where you were swing trading in the beginning, but you did some modification, right?
Yeah.
So this modification, did you do any back testing with this?
Not back testing. I actually don't understand what back testing is. In
Okay.
my knowledge, I think back testing is something you do with a software.
You could do with software, you could do with trading view. So
Uh,
you basically go back in time and then you test your rules with from data from the past. So you might go to 2021 on the Kiwi yen, and for 3 months, you just trade the data. You trade it with your strategy, and then you see what the results are. And then you can find ways of how you can find good trades. You can find strengths in your current strategy. You can find weaknesses, and maybe you can find new variables. You can introduce one more variable, one more confluence, just to test to see if it works for you. So you can do this with back testing, and it's something that I recommend uh, for any trader. You need to always be doing back testing at least 3-4 times every week, just so that you are constantly, as they say, sharpening the axe. You're constantly improving. So yeah, back testing is very important. So I can see here that you had a very big winner here. This was, I think, on the Kiwi yen at the end. But your average winners were much higher, almost 4 times higher. This is one of the best profit factors that I've seen in a portfolio manager. So well done on that one.
I'm
Um,
not sure is that is a potential risk.
it that In terms of risk, having a high profit factor, um, it comes down to how you manage the risk. Now, based on what I've seen, you and the drawdown that you have a good risk management process. So, how do you implement a break even strategy? How do you go into break even for your trades? How do you have such very low drawdown?
So when the price go into your direction, just reduce the risk, moves closer. And I think one of the biggest reason is because I'm aware of exposure, like the strategy that I trade, and the size of the trade. You have to calculate it in a way that even if you have a losing trade, uh, price constantly go against you. Uh, you have to know, for example, Kiwi yen, the daily volatility is about 0.5 to 0.7%. So I have to calculate it in a way that if the pair go fully against my favor, it will still not eat all my drawdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think big deal.
So you're very good at exiting before it goes into loss. So you have
I,
do you have a rule for break even, or do you exit manually for break even?
I exit manually, which worked for me over the past 3 to 4 months, but maybe that is not the best strategy. I'm still learning.
Yeah, yeah. There are other strategies. You can have rules to break even, and this allows you to make less emotional decisions. So when you have a break even rule, it's just mechanical. You have, if A and B happens, then break even. So if
Yeah,
and when this happens, then break even. When you have these rules, it allows you to measure the performance of the break even strategy. But if you have a manual break even strategy, it's just more of a feeling, then it's very difficult to quantify. It's difficult to improve. And it also means you have to babysit the trade. You have to watch the charts a lot every day. Um, and so you end up spending a lot of time on the computer. So if you do this months, years, it can become very stressful. You know, as a trader, you also want a little bit of freedom. And so it's good to have rules and a process so that there is as little interaction with the execution as possible. Um, Otherwise, you end up burning out if you're always trading, always on the charts, always, and then you end up forgetting about your health, your family, your friends. You forget about your everything else. Then this causes stress in your life. It causes um, a lot of sort of unsatisfaction. So, but you need to have. It's important to have a mechanical strategy. In my opinion, it's important to have a process and an allocated time in your life to trading. But also, you need to have time for your health, for family, for friends, for charity, things like this. Doing nice things for other people, traveling, um, so that you have a more fulfilling life. This is what it's about, really, isn't it? It's about freedom, and this is what we believe in CTI, that you need. Um, it's important to have your personal freedom, and that's why we have our CTI evaluation. For the classic, you have 12 months. For the standard, you have 6 months. And this is again, every trader is different, so it's completely how up to every trader to decide which program they go for. Um, So yeah, I mean that's the freedom aspect is very important to CTI. Now, in your position now, what advice would you give other traders who also want to pass the evaluation like you?
Uh, I think the best I can give is try to study exposure. Like you have most people talk about risking 0.5% or 1% per trade, but you better know about exposure. How much in US dollar you are exposing for the market, and you have to know the daily volatility of a pair, weekly volatility of a pair if you are a swing trader. And so understand those two helps you to manage risk way better compared to just caring about the percentage. Another thing is if you are interested in knowing my strategy, then pay attention to the risk sentiment of the day because no matter what pair you trade, the risk sentiment affect a lot. I often enter the market at Asia session. So when Asia session open and the stock market open, it's very easy to tell that day is the risk on day or risk off day. So if that the risk on or risk off go against me, I'm gonna close my position very early, not even wait till the UK or US session. And then if it go in my direction, and then I already in profit and can scale in and take a little bit more risk.
Fantastic. That's very, very good advice. I have a quick question. How do you measure volatility for daily volatility and weekly volatility? Are you using the ATD,
Yeah,
the
I
average true
use
range?
ITD. I just
ATR,
Google
sorry.
it. Yeah, ATR average daily something, right?
The
But
ATR, average true range. Do you use this for
yeah.
volatility?
Other people use it. I don't use it. I just Google it. I just Google daily volatility of yen, for example, and then some statistics side it on a list on a table.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So, all right. That's very good information to know. Thank you for sharing that. Hopefully, that can help other traders. I'll look into it myself. I want to check out. It's important I think it's important to understand volatility and also the exposure. This is so important. Having a look at how many of your trades are correlated, and if you have too much exposure, this can be very dangerous. So, Viet, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on passing the evaluation, and really great advice for other traders to um, focus on things like exposure and daily volatility to measure, and also sentiment to see what kind of direction the trend is for the day. And so this is really good advice for day traders. And for you guys watching at home, if you're interested in the CTI evaluation, we have several programs. Use the link in the description. If you enjoyed this interview, make sure that you hit the thumbs up and show some love in the comments for Viet. Wish him some luck. Wish him good trading and success in his journey as a funded trader. And make sure that you hit that bell button because we're going to continue to add more and more interviews and really good value for all of you. Okay, everyone. Well, thanks for watching. And Viet, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Thank you again for your time.
Pleasure too. Thank you.